All right, I'm just going to show you how I cut short pieces on the miter saw. And, let's say I need 20 pieces. I'm making some doors right now, and I need to have 20 rails, and they're all really short. Let's say they're 6 inches long. I can't use my normal stop blocks because they're too far away. The way that I have my setup, my workbench set up, and I think probably a lot of people, the way they have their setups is that you can't go in front of the fence a long way with your stop blocks. So if I were to take my stop block and move it over, this is it right here. Let's say I wanted to move it over, I could get, to about there, and that's about it. Now my stop block is set back a little bit. That's the way I have my track. But if your track was in line here, that would allow you to move this thing in front, provided that you had some sort of an extension rod. And this stop block actually has an extension rod hole. I can actually put a 1/2 inch steel pipe that I have through there, steel rod. However, it doesn't work because my fence is up from my track. So I can't really use that. There's really no other way to do it except for maybe putting a block of wood here and using this stop block with that block of wood. That's conceivable. Let's say, for instance, maybe you wanted to, you could set a block of wood like this and basically just push this block of wood, and that would be your stop, right? So maybe this block of wood went to here, and I just did like that. So this block of wood would cover this whole distance that I otherwise couldn't get to, right? Or maybe it's just a little bit shorter, and let's say it goes to like here. So that's conceivable. That would work, definitely. Now, is this going to be the most practical, most useful thing, having a loose block push your wood up? I don't think so. So what I do instead of that is I set up an absolutely, positively, one of the simplest things that you can put on your miter saw fence, and that is its own stop. And this is nothing more than a piece of cherry, in this case, with an angle cut. That's just for decoration. And a little bit of a relief on the bottom so that sawdust doesn't get built up there and keep the workpiece from touching tight. So I just put it on there and I just move this. And how easy is this? Take a little face frame clamp. Pretty much everybody has a face frame clamp. And go ahead, put this on. Now, if you don't have a high fence, you can still use this. However, it's not as convenient, but you still can use it if you don't use your high fence, or your saw maybe doesn't have a high fence. But most saws have a fence somewhat reasonably high to accommodate, standing up material. So even if it's not this high, it's, decently high. So this works really well. And as you can see, I can make my cut, square up that nice edge, make a nice edge there, and then come here and put it right up against there, and then make my cut. So now I've got my piece stopped at the exact distance. Now, if that distance isn't correct and I need to change it, the nice thing about this is that you can use the attachment for the fence as your micro adjust, or you can loosen the clamp up. If you use the fence, all you have to do is loosen it up, and if I tap this one way or the other, I mean literally, you're getting micro adjustments to that width. So if you look at this, this is kind of like a micro adjusting fence, although that's not what it's classified as. I'm using it as that because I have, a little distance there, so I can go either way, front and back. So I can go to the right, I can go to the left. Pretty cool. Once you get your spot done, lock it down. And one nice thing about this fence is that when you lock it down, it doesn't move. So that's really cool. So if I say, all right, I need to nudge this, a 1/16 of an inch, I just give it a little tap. And again, you're going to be using a mark with, you know, let's say this mark is going to be whatever length, let's say 7 inches. So now I take this and I want to put this right at 7 inches, right? So I'm going to use my shadow from my light that this saw has. Now I can say, all right, I need that guy to be right there. So I can, not even using the micro adjust, right? It's tied up, tightened up. I can just take this, move this over, get it close, and now with it close, I've got it locked in. So I can take this and just see, all right, that looks really perfect. But let's say it's off just a hair. All I have to do is just loosen that up, tap this, and now I've adjusted it ever so slightly without taking this off. And now I've got a micro adjustable fence for no money. You didn't have to do much, and really it's hardly any work. Any wood will do. It doesn't have to be, you know, a piece of cherry. It doesn't have to be angled, but you should have this little guy right here. So what I did for this is I just took this over to the jointer and made a pass about 1 inch, and that created that lip right there. And it's barely anything, but you know, it's enough to make it so that wood chips don't get stuck in front and ruin your cut. So I just thought a little tip, because I have this issue a lot where I'm using this part of the fence to make rail cuts when I do doors. A lot of doors or drawer fronts, they always end up with short rails and or stiles. So I'm always having to make these type of cuts. So I just thought I would show you how I do it. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments, and please subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and have a great day.